Back to Sports Night. I'm joined by the Avoyelles Mustangs basketball team. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys want to just introduce yourselves.
My name is Dorian Jenkins. Y'all can call me D-Though, number 23 for the Avoyelles Mustangs, point guard.
Terrence Mason, number 1 for Mustangs.
Preston Barnes, number 12 for the Mustangs.
Poppy, number 11 for the Avoyelles Mustangs.
And I'm Coach Chris Dupree. I'm the coach of the Avoyelles Mustangs.
Thank you guys so much for joining us in the studio today. So we'll just talk a little bit about the season so far. I know we have playoffs coming up in a little bit. So if you want to just start and just talk a little bit about the season so far.
Well, basically, for the start, we just won district, 20 wins, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, we got more wins than last year. And looking to make a little playoff run.
See the confidence I got, I really want to take this to the championship and have that ring on my finger.
So you just won district. So talk a little bit about winning district this year.
That was the greatest feeling I ever had by playing my 3 years. Yeah, that's a good feeling by going undefeated.
We did better than we did last year, because last year we was just rushing everything and not playing together. But this year we got everything right, and we just finished strong and went undefeated.
The goals that we had at the end of last year, we said we want to try and make that playoff run, and the way to do it is try and get a home game in the playoffs. And the last 2 years, we had difficult road games in the opening round, going to Richwood 2 years ago, and then last year going to Donaldsonville. So we set goals to try and at least get one. If you would have finished in the top 8, you'd have 2 home games. But we made that one goal of getting a home game and then see where that takes us. And if we're fortunate enough to win, then we'll cross that second round game when it comes. In 2021 and 2022, Avoyelles shared the district title with 3 other teams at that time. And the last outright district title was 2011 and 2012. Now, Max Preps only goes back to 2004, so I checked all the records, and according to Max Preps, since 2004, no other team besides this group of young men has won 20 games at Avoyelles High School. So it's quite an accomplishment. We set some team goals earlier when we first started in October, and we said we want to not just make the playoffs, we want to see if we could make a run in the playoffs, and you know, we want to play until a better team beats us. And if that doesn't happen, then we'll just keep playing. And you know, we don't want to say, oh, I wish I could have done this, I should have done this. We just want to play until somebody better than us beats us. And if that doesn't happen, then we know where we end up.
And so obviously you guys went undefeated in that district run as well. So just talk a little bit about some of those teams that you guys have seen and some of those rivalries that you kind of had to face and overcome.
It was tough, but we played through it as a team.
I feel like the competition that we really had to face was Oakdale, because last year they was beating us bad, but this year it was a different story. We made adjustments from last year, and we just played with the game.
The thing about this team is we are outsized every game that we play. When we start 4 guys that, well, basically all 5 guys are under 6 feet tall, and we start 3 of them under 5'8". But we're fortunate to have some depth, and we're able to go 5 in and 5 out at a time and use 2 types of presses to eventually start to wear teams down in the second half. And we've been fortunate enough to do that in district, teams that are much bigger than us, and we just try to use our speed and quickness and our athleticism and wear them out in the second half.
And so for you, Coach, I know I saw you got 500 wins a couple of games ago. So just talk a little bit about being able to have that 500th win.
That just means I've been around a long time. It means I'm old. It also means I've been very fortunate and blessed to coach some outstanding basketball players. In those 500 wins, I hadn't made 1 shot. I hadn't, made 1 pass or anything. So it just means that I've been blessed to have a good group of players since, I started this in 1994.
And so you guys have talked a little bit about that bond that you guys have with each other. So just talk a little bit more about what that bond means and how that is able for you guys to be able to perform on the court.
We like brothers now, so when we play together, we all playing our own game and we playing it with each other.
We have to adjust to like everything that happened last year. So like we have to get more comfortable with each other. We stayed out the practice sometimes and, you know, like try to figure out everybody like weakness and strength, and we just used it and, you know, we just helped each other get better, and we know that like where each other gonna be on court.
I feel like everybody really know their role for real, so it helps our chemistry out somewhere.
I was worried at the beginning. We started trying a new philosophy about a month into the season. I started taking 5 guys in, my 5 starters. I'd pull them all out and put in 5 new guys. And I was worried at first my starters were, Coach, why are you pulling us out? And couldn't understand. But now they see what that second unit brings to us, and they trust them more than anything to not only maintain what we built in the first 4 minutes of the game, but to expand on it. So you could see them rooting for each other, standing up, high-fiving, clapping. It doesn't matter which 5 is in the game. It's just, it's like we're a family now. And, you know, it was fun to see them grow this year like that.
And so you guys have been a team that has done the unthinkable at Avoyelles. You know, you have the 20 wins, you've won a district title. So just talk a little bit about being able to possibly get that state championship for you guys and what that would not only mean for you all as a team, but also for the community.
That would mean a lot because no basketball team in Avoyelles High School did that before. And no sport. I feel like that would be really good because the support that everybody has for us. And when we get there, and hopefully we end it with a championship, I feel like everyone's going to be excited for us to come back with a trophy.
3 years ago, Avoyelles made the quarterfinals in basketball and lost at the buzzer to Rayville, who was the eventual state champions. Besides that crew and doing some checking in the history of Avoyelles Parish, and I could be wrong, but you know, Max Preps only goes back so far, but could be wrong. There's only 4 teams in the history of Avoyelles High School that has won a basketball playoff game. And they still, the community, when I say they, still talks about those teams and how good they were, and everybody knows who was on those teams. So these guys are trying to join them, win the first playoff game, and you match what only 4 teams have done before. You win another playoff game, and you become only the 2nd team in the history of our program to advance past the 2nd round. So, you know, for the community to rally around it, it would mean so much for the community of Mansur and Mooreville and Simmsport and all areas in between that attend our schools. So, the kids in the community they would embrace this and love them forever.
Well, thank you guys so much, and congratulations on such an amazing season. You guys are going to go far, I'm pretty sure. And so thank you guys so much for joining us once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And then make sure to stay tuned on Sports Night. We have the Athlete of the Week coming up next.